Good morning and welcome to the show. This is In Touch, and In Touch is our weekly half-hour public affairs show, which means that if you are a member of a nonprofit group organization, if you are a company here in the Hudson Valley helping out a nonprofit group organization, and you'd like to come on the program to talk about what is important to you here in the Hudson Valley, in Orange County, in Sullivan County, we'd love to have you on the show. At the end of the program today, I will tell you a myriad of ways that you can get a hold of me. Let me turn on microphones. Let me say first off, this is pre-recorded, and we are welcoming back old friends in a great organization, and we are going to be talking about the Children's Home of Poughkeepsie. So Walter Joseph is here, the executive director of the Children's Home Poughkeepsie. So Walt, you're back. I haven't scared you away, which is nice. Nice to see you again, so welcome.
Good morning. It's nice to see you again. It's always a pleasure to come in here and do this show, Beth.
It's nice. I love it. And Aaron, I did not scare you away. Aaron is back. Aaron Caffarelli is Director of Development and Public Relations at the Children's Home Poughkeepsie. Aaron, it's very nice to see you again. You're back, which is lovely.
Thanks a lot for having us, Beth.
You know, in the past when we've had you guys on the show, my goodness, I don't remember how many years it's been.
Been many years.
I mean, I remember the first time we talked about the emergency with children placement.
We probably started coming here 15
years ago. That's what I'm thinking. And what amazes me on every single show, and sometimes they're maybe a year apart, sometimes they're 6 months apart, not years and years and years apart, though. There's always something new. There's always we've looked ahead. We realize that this is an issue in the community. This is something that children need. Every single show, I am amazed at what the organization has done. The more and more children and families that you guys have helped. So with me starting out that way, let's kind of get everybody up to speed because we have a lot to talk about this morning. Once again, nobody just sitting there going, whew, that was a really good quarter. I think we're done. No one is doing that.
No, it's not in our nature. We're really a dynamic group. I mean, all of us. And I think we very much focus on what's going on in the community and what the community needs and what's going on with our kids. And we look for ways to meet those needs. I mean, that's kind of the covenant, for the nonprofits that you have to look into your community and see what's needed. Our board members do that. We do that as staff. And so we're always looking at, new things. I think, I'm not sure if we spoke about this, but we last year started a program working with children who were trafficked, who are victims of trafficking. And that program's now been operating for about 6 months. And it's been interesting for us. This is an emerging problem nationally. There's been, lots of writing about it. I saw that there's some TV show addressing the trafficking issue, which is really coming to the fore now. And it's both economic trafficking and sexual trafficking. So it's an emerging problem.
Mm-hmm. Again, another example, like you said, you take a look at what's going on, even if it's a topic where people go, oh, I'm sure that's not happening. I'm sure that's not the situation.
People have been very surprised. I mean, we got onto this because of Dr. Crenshaw and Lori Stella, who are two of Dr. Crenshaw is our clinical director, and Lori's now actually running that program. We're involved with the Dutchess County Task Force, which included people from local agencies, FBI, Homeland Security, the Dutchess Department of Community and Family Services. And they've been working at this program, at this issue for about 3 years. And the FBI liaisons told us that they were identifying young women who needed services, but there were really no services available. And so that's why the board, I think, very courageously agreed to go ahead and start developing this program.
Wow.
And we are the only program upstate that's doing that. There are only 12 beds downstate, and we have a 14-bed program upstate. And those are the only beds for kids who have been really victimized. To kind of divert them from the juvenile justice or the justice systems into the system which treats and recognizes that young women, it's primarily young women who are sexually exploited, are victims and need to be cared for. So we're starting out with that, and it's been a challenge. It's been a hard population to work with.
Wow. Goodness gracious. Every time you come in and talk, there's always a change, maybe a change in a regulation, a change. Like you said, they've been working on this for 3 years. It's amazing to me. Unfortunately, it's the only program upstate.
Yeah, and we just admitted a girl from Erie County. That's Buffalo. So So that's been one of the things that the Children's Home has been doing is trying to look at who are the underserved or unserved populations that we can do something for. But we also very much recognize that there are a lot of changes going on in how the foster care system operates. New York State's foster care system probably 10 years ago had around 60,000 children in it. It now has about 18,000 children in it because there have been huge efforts to keep kids at home and to keep kids in their community, which is really where kids should be. They really need to be with their families. So a lot of efforts are made to keep them there. So what we're seeing from our end is that there is a smaller because fewer children are referred into the foster care system, which includes residential foster homes and all of that kind of stuff, that the kids we're seeing are presenting some difficult challenges to us. They're generally speaking kids who have had more difficulty in foster homes or in their own homes. And so we're feeling we got to be on our game to work with some of these kids because they've really been very traumatized. They're all abuse and neglect victims, and we have to be very sharp about how we work with them.
Wow. Goodness gracious. Obviously, your staff, Dr. Crenshaw was in here last year, and I remember I don't remember the technical term, but I remember it was no longer what have you done, it's what happened.
It's what happened to you.
What has happened to you.
It's not what's wrong with you.
That's it.
What happened to you.
Right.
And this is the question we ask ourselves for every referral that we get. Like we'll see a referral and it'll say the child is doing this, that, or the other thing, and these are the behaviors, and we sit there and look at each other and we say, what happened to that child? So we know that's what's been going on. The whole issue of trauma is really now, I think, the center of discussion for people. It's always kind of been there, but I think it was looked at more as an excuse. Your mommy was mean to you, therefore you're a bank robber. But the reality is that children who experience neglect and physical abuse actually have physiological and neurological changes that abuse creates for them, and then that lays them open to all sorts of consequences as young adults and as adults. Dr. Crenshaw actually was supposed to be here today, but he got the cold that I had 3 weeks ago that I got from the HR director 6 weeks ago, so he's not here, and he would love to speak to this. He's been doing a lot of research on our children. There's a study called the ACEs study, the Adverse Childhood Experience Study, which was done many years ago and involved around 17,000 people, and they defined, it was NIMH did this study, and they identified 10 adverse childhood experiences, which includes parental substance abuse, parental incarceration, physical abuse, sexual abuse, about 10 bad things. And if you have 4 of them, if you're exposed to 4 of them, the study showed that you could have very poor outcomes, health outcomes, diabetes, heart disease, multiple sex partners, addictive diseases like tobacco smoking. In general, people who have 4 or more ACEs experiences have a shortened life expectancy of almost 10 years.
Wow.
So this tells you that the abuse is not just I'm reacting badly. It's telling you that the whole body, your whole being is being affected by this abuse. Russell Vanderkook has a book out. He's done a lot of research in this, and it's called The Body Keeps the Score. So, and it really talks about these long-lasting events. So that's where we're focused. That's why the workforce is so important. And then the recognition that abuse and neglect takes a terrible toll on children, which in turn takes a terrible toll on the society, really has to be recognized. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and people really should be thinking a little bit more about this. I mean, we're doing some stuff. I'll let Erin talk about that a little bit with our kids and with the public to kind of heighten awareness about this issue.
Mm-hmm. Erin, you've been quiet long enough. Come on in.
So, as Walt said, April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and we celebrate that all month long at the Children's Home as a way, advocacy. It's hard to have a celebration about something, like abuse, but what we do is pinwheels are the symbol of prevention. So we will line our fence line of our property with blue pinwheels, and the kids will all place them there. And we highlight one day where we all wear blue, and we have an event with the children, blue cake, blue punch, and then a presentation. Dr. Crenshaw will talk about child abuse and give the kids an opportunity to speak and maybe poetry. So that's something that we do during the month of April.
What day do you guys wear blue? I want to kind of get everybody here. What day is that? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Oh, this is pre-recorded, but you can still do it. You can totally still do it wherever you are because it's the entire month of April.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
And
I understand.
look for the pinwheels on our fence. They're
Because they'll
beautiful.
be there. Yeah, they are fun. I remember that from last year. I remember going to get my grandson and going, oh, look at the pinwheels. Look how cool they looked. I loved them.
It's interesting because some of the children will talk about their experience at this. You know, it's like those secret things that you don't keep them so secret.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids do respond to this.
I wondered about that when you said that there was an opportunity. You know, it's an advocacy. It's allowing it to be talked about. I always felt if you could, it doesn't heal everything, but I think one of the first steps is even being able just to talk about it, just to even have the words and say them out loud.
Very important.
Is so powerful.
Yeah.
Right. And also, it's about making the community aware too. One of the slogans they use is if you see something, say something. And it's about letting the public know that when you see something, you should say something because you need to help protect the children too.
Yep.
So we're hoping that our advocacy does that too.
Wow. That's great.
And, you know, I think people should realize, I think there's a lot of reluctance if you hear screams coming from your neighbor's house because a child may be being disciplined inappropriately, you really should call somebody. And in that case, if you heard screams, you call 911. But
right.
The system does try to positively impact people who may be at the end of their rope in terms of dealing with their own children for their own issues. It's not just your child gets taken away. There's a lot of effort made to provide help and to keep kids safe. Mm-hmm. And, you know, schools are on the front line of this. They report a lot of abuse and neglect because they see the children every day.
But I think that is powerful. If you hear something and you sense something, then you need to say something. There is an innocent child that is there that cannot speak, and you need to help them.
Yeah.
Right. And we've been in this situation before, and I'm sure that Walt can talk more about it, but some of the kids that come into our care have made the call themselves.
Wow.
And protecting their siblings, protecting themselves. And I can't even imagine, you know, what's going on, the guilt that they must feel about even doing that.
Right. Thank God you guys are there. Okay. Thank goodness the children's home is there.
You know, Bob Allers, who was commissioner, and now it's Sabrina Marzuka, who is the commissioner, and she's a great lady. But I think when we reached our 1,000th child in the emergency program, I was a little depressed by the notion that we had 1,000 children come through. It's over 2,000 now. And I talked to Bob about this, and he said, you know, the way you should look at this is that you've been there to help save and protect 1,000 children, and that's the spin. That's the positive piece for us, that we're there for those kids.
That's what I think for children who, through no fault of their own, find themselves in a situation. You guys are there.
Yeah, they really are victims.
Yes, absolutely. So if you look at the work that you guys are doing and continuing to do, this year, I believe we talked a little bit off mic. This year is a big celebration for you guys. This is that's an amazing milestone here. And go ahead and say that.
Yeah, we have a lot of great things going on. But on June 21st, we will celebrate our 170th anniversary.
I didn't even want to say the number. I wanted you to. I think that's huge. I think that's amazing.
It's huge. It really
is. It
is.
is. Because there are people like, we're 25 years. I'm like, Children's Home, 170. I mean, I'll just say that so you guys don't. I mean, you guys will be nicer than me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, when we hear the commercials, you know, in business since, 1970, we say,
whatever. You youngster, you on the block. Yeah. Which, again, is proof of what we always talk about. You do not remain for 170 years unless you continue to take a look at what is going on in society, what children need, what families need, what is changing in terms of regulations, in terms of what the society wants, in terms of what is better, in terms of research. You don't. So congratulations. Congratulations, guys. That's very, very powerful.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the community's been very supportive of us. And, we have Aaron mentioned we have some exciting things going on. We have a large building going up in addition to our building. That's made possible by a gift from an individual who supported the home.
So let's talk about that because everyone should know that we do a little conversation before the mics go on, just so we kind of have an idea of where we want to be. It's more like a conversation, but you kind of want to make sure you hit a few things. And I'm standing here going, I didn't know there was a big building. But you cannot, like you said, you cannot see it from the street.
Can't see it. Yeah.
So let's talk about this because this is exciting.
Well, this is a long-term project. When I came to the children's home in 2001, the building committee was talking about renovating the kitchen. And so finally, 16 years later, we're renovating the kitchen. But that's really not all we're doing. We're adding a whole wing onto the building. And that wing is going to have a state-of-the-art kitchen, pretty state-of-the-art, with everything that you need in order to provide meals for a large group of kids and staff, which we do every day. Mm-hmm. It's going to expand our existing dining room, which is actually too small to hold all of our kids, into a dividable space that we can have everyone, or we can have a smaller group. And it's going to allow us to have the community in more and to reach out to the community more and perhaps host. We've hosted a couple of conferences off-site. We would be able to do that on-site.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be able to expand our services to children. So we're going to get some more family visiting rooms, very important. We're going to get some additional space for art therapy and music therapy, which right now the music and art therapists, I think, are down in a basement room. They're going to be moving up to the second floor. So it's going to give us that. We're going to increase our availability of space for staffing, which sounds like, oh, well, what do they need more staff for? We need more staff because we're doing what you alluded to earlier or stated, that we're starting to pivot away from residential care. Not that we're not going to do residential, but we are looking at what kind of needs there are in the community for children who are not placed, but who are living at home with their family in their schools, who could use some supportive type services and some case management type services and mental health services. And we're going to begin doing that. The next 3 to 5 years, I think that's going to be the direction that we're going. It's in our strategic plan to reach out to community-based services more. And we need to be there. It's going to give us the ability to have some more therapy rooms, some additional space to house staff to provide those services.
Wow. That's great. Which is, it sounds like such an understatement when I say that. I mean, that really is amazing. Look at what it's going to allow you guys to do. And if you think of the kids that are now that are there and that live there, how important would that be to be able to have everybody in the room at one time? Aaron, you had mentioned, for holidays, for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, you sit around the table with your family and your friends. That's what you do.
Yeah, we Thanksgiving, I believe the kitchen normally serves, between 100 and 130 people. The kids, some of their families able to come in, the staff that's working, and to have them all sit around together in one room would be really nice. And then same thing, during different holidays throughout the year. We're also going to be expanding the children's library and the learning center. Yep. It's fantastic, and it's all because of a gift. Somebody left a bequest to the children's home that's allowing us to do this, and it's wonderful. It's a great tribute to her, and it's a great thing for our kids.
Now, how far along are you? Okay, English would be good. How far along are you? There we go, in the project. When will this be done?
It's scheduled to be finished about the third week of June.
Wow.
It's going very fast.
You guys have been keeping this little bit of a secret.
We actually started construction in November, but we spent about a year prior to that selecting companies to work with. So Tinkleman Architecture is our architect, and Consigli is doing the construction.
Okay.
And they've both been great. They've done a super job for us. They've given us exactly the building we want. The work has been going pretty smoothly. We did get challenged by the weather a little bit.
I was going to say, blizzard kind of had a little bit of an impact on there for a little.
Consigli's been great. I mean, they have really pushed to stay on target, and the guys who are on the site have, I think, really sort of absorbed our mission. It's hard not to if you spend any time in our building. I think they're feeling it. They're feeling that they're part of something special to do this. And so we're excited. They're excited. The kids are excited. So it's great. It's a little disruptive to have bulldozers outside your office and things like that, but it's been really, really good. So we're very, very excited. We will do something.
That was my next question.
To welcome the public in, probably in September, because we want to make sure that we've got everything done. But so probably in the fall we would have a public event, and we will want to come back and talk to you about it.
Yep, you will. That was my.
And do that.
Stop. Yeah. You got to stay out of my brain. You're like, that's a dangerous place for someone else to be.
I talked to you too many times. See, that's the thing.
You know exactly what I'm going to say. So that's cool. So we can all look forward to that. Mm-hmm. I love that. So, Aaron, there's some other events. I know we jumped ahead to June, to the 170th. But there's something another really cool, something exciting that's going to be going on a little closer. So what do we got?
Well, we're actually incredibly honored. Mill Street Loft and Spark Media Project are going to be honoring the Children's Home on May 17th as their Friend of the Arts, along with children's author David Soman. And we're really just delighted. We've been working with Mill Street Loft and Spark Media over the last couple of years with some art projects on our campus. If anybody's been on our website or our Facebook or even been to the campus, there's a beautiful mural that's on our gym wall now. There's some murals inside of the cottages. We're doing art and music therapy, all working together with Mill Street Loft to make that happen. And that, again, was a grant from a foundation that allowed us to do that program, too. But we're going to be honored, and we're honored to be honored.
That's a nice thing. Let me ask you this question. You talked about how, with the building, it was a what is the correct
bequest?
Word? Thank you.
A bequest.
I knew there was a word that I was missing. And then this in terms of a grant. What if there's someone listening this morning, what can the community do to help? And I know that you often say, the community has been very, very supportive. But, in terms of if someone wants to donate some things, what do they need to do? How can they go about doing it? What do you guys need the most?
Honestly, unrestricted gifts are the best
Right.
gifts that we can receive, where there's no restriction for use, and it allows us to come up with the need at the time of the gift that works best for us. Grants are fantastic because it allows us to expand programming. That's what we're doing with the art and music therapy. I mentioned earlier to you that we will be getting a third dog at the end of this year. All of the dogs that we have been donated by generous gifts from people in the community and grants. So those kinds of things provide the most opportunity for us: unrestricted gifts, program funding, and grants, and that sort of thing. We always, we do receive a lot of in-kind donations by way of volunteers. Right now we're in that Easter mode, and we're getting, Easter baskets donated and all of that kind of stuff. And during the holidays, we get, holiday gifts. And, it's just remembering that these are regular kids that need regular things that everybody else in the community has. And people provide those for our kids.
That's nice. So in terms of unrestricted gifts, is there a way that people can, do they donate on the website? Is there a way to do that there so it's really easy? Or
yeah, you can visit our website,
Okay.
children'shome.us, and make an online gift there. You can stick a check in an envelope and mail it to the Children's Home. You can give us a call. We can talk about your gift planning. We can help you decide what's best for you. We have some tools on our website as well.
Okay.
There's a really exciting day. It's the same day as the Friend of the Arts Award, called Hudson Valley Gives Day, and that's May 17th. And last year, about 140 nonprofits in the Hudson Valley got together, and it's a 24-hour period of giving. So we're part of that this year. We were a part of it last year. We're going to be raising money for our dog fund called Ivy's Fund, and donors have an opportunity to make a gift with the rest of the community to the charity of their choice that day. And we're hoping to raise about $5,000 for Ivy's Fund, which helps us take care of the dogs.
In fact, in an upcoming In Touch, we're going to spend one show just on that.
Oh,
Fantastic.
And going over it and how easy it is and in one place and how to search and, how you can find things. And so we're going to do a show just on that, because last year was the first one
for Hudson Valley Gives.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I thought that was a really great idea and made it very, very easy that people could go and search and
look. It was very simple to do it.
Yeah.
Make a donation.
I really liked how it did it. I mean, I was even able to kind of do, and trust me when I say I'm not really the queen of video tutorials, but I was able to do one and show how very easy it was to find what you're interested in. So I love that.
Yeah, and it's hard to underestimate, how important the giving is and unrestricted giving is to the Children's Home. And when you talk about us being able to kind of look at what's going on in the community and look at what the unmet needs are, a lot of what we do, especially in startup, is not funded by anybody. So we have to fund it ourselves. Mm-hmm. The new program is being largely funded by children's homes money, which is coming out of the gifts that we've received over the years. The having the dogs has been really grants and gifts that support that. Those dogs are expensive to acquire and expensive to keep because they need really good care, and they've been an enormous difference for the children. We have an extensive recreation program that's received some very nice gifts from, we fundraise for it in some of our events, and we've gotten some specific gifts for it. That's allowed us to have an enriched recreation program, and, recreation is recreation, and that's what it's about for the children. We're having a climbing wall installed in our gym.
Oh, nice.
Which is coming out of gift money that will give the kids a little bit of a challenge because children need that, that little fear thing. Part of their development is to get over that, is to, to overcome that, to help them overcome some of these other things, to develop that competence. So, and it's all made possible because people give us money. Some agencies are in survival mode in this world. Their rates have been frozen pretty much for the last 6 years. We've not received cost of living increases for staff in almost 6 years. Just in the last couple of years, the governor has included some money for direct care salaries, but we have people in the administration who haven't received an increase in 6 or 7 years because that's just been the atmosphere. So, some agencies are really, on the verge of closing because of the financial stress of that, deferred repair work, deferred maintenance things, suffering from problems with the direct care. There's been a big push for direct care staff from the OPW side, the Office of People with Developmental Disability side, like Abilities First, and some of those other programs have actually pushed the state legislature and the governor to include money for their direct care staff in this upcoming budget, which, thank goodness, has just been approved. It has some positive things on our side. The budget may not be as kind to us. The governor cut the child care block grant, the foster care block grant to the counties, which is going to cause them probably to have to spend more money. So it's there's mixed messages here for us. So the money from the community is important if they value the agencies, and they would like to see people able to reach out to help the children who aren't being helped.
Yeah. So if you're listening this morning, really make sure you get yourself to the website, which is
children'shome.us.
Got it. And on whatever station you're listening to this morning, please go to their website because this interview will be up, and you can it's an on-demand type feature where you can rewind, fast forward, get to the part you want. There'll also be a little article around the video, and I'll have links to that website and whatever links you guys want me to put in there. We'll make sure that we have that. So it's very, very easy. Believe it or not, we have to wrap up. I've been going over, so I really have got to be careful because we could just go on.
You'll get
and
a
on
memo
and on.
from management.
I
soon.
do. It's not pretty. I've got those. Yeah. But you will be back because we'll be excited to learn about the public event for all the fun things, the kitchen and the dining room and the children's library and all that. That'd be great to be able to see. And plus, I think when folks, like you said, the workers are there and you can't help but absorb it and feel the mission, of what it is. And that's powerful too, for people to see what it is that is being done there is very, very powerful.
Yeah, people who come to the campus walk away feeling that they have seen something special. And I'm talking about family court judges, officials, government officials, outside groups, people who come there can feel what's going on at the children's home. It's very personal and supportive and loving for our kids. And, we say we're a place of healing and hope. And that's really what we're about.
Yeah, I like that. Closing comments from you guys. Erin, any final thoughts you'd like to leave with folks this morning?
No, thank you for having us. It's great as usual.
Very cool. Very nice to have you here. Walt, closing comments?
Well, only that I appreciate what you do, Beth, in giving people like us an opportunity to reach out to the larger community in a very friendly environment. And so it's been great for the children's home. If people don't know who we are, and it's amazing to us that people don't, but we used to be called the best kept secret. I'm hoping not, as much of a secret, but go to our website and take a look. And our history we have history section up there, and it's really pretty fascinating to be part of an organization that's been around. We like to say, we started 14 years before Abraham Lincoln was elected as president. And so we have really been doing this for a long time, and we've been doing it well. I have a letter from a gentleman who wrote to us in 2006, and he was a resident of the Children's Home from 1935 for about 12 years, so 1935 to 47. He just passed away recently from lung cancer. But he talked about his experience of being loved and supported and taught at the Children's Home, and that he saw that he, in some ways, had something better than some of his peers. He went to NYU, and who he said their family sounded like they were pretty messed up, but he appreciated the care that he got as a young man. And he got his PhD, and he stayed in touch with us, and he battled lung cancer for 10 years and just passed away. But that little piece of he was taken care of and he was loved, and that helped to set his life up in a certain way. It's important. It's it's important for us to know that we have that impact on kids. So
that's very powerful. Walt and Aaron, thank you guys very, very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thanks to all of you. If you'd like to be on the show, talk about what is important to you that's going on here in the Hudson Valley, here's how you can get a hold of me. Email beth.christie@townsquaremedia.com. You can call 845-471-1500. My extension is 159. You can also go on Facebook, I'm there, and Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest. You will find me, and I hope that you do. We'd like to have you on the show. Take care of yourself and those you love, and we'll see you right here next week.